Now tell me how you get this shot off because this boggles my mind. I watched a video. I think you went out with Rogan on this incredible hunt where there were elk everywhere, and a couple times you were real close, but you didn't take a shot. And I believe you're looking for like the double lung shot, so you get this
Hmm.
super clean kill. Now again, for me, I mean it's a dynamic situation. You're super close. Obviously, you're worried about being detected at any moment and you're trying to find an arrow in a very specific place, it seems to me
Yeah.
like a really tall order to try to do that. Explain how that works.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It is because, like I said, these animals are built to survive. And the biggest thing with archery is the wind. I mean, if you don't hunt, you wouldn't think about it like we do. But if that animal, if the wind is at your back and the wind is going towards the animal, you will never kill it because their nose is their number one source of defense, essentially. So they say you can fool their eyes, like they can see movement, and if you don't move, they can be like, okay, maybe I don't know what that was, maybe just a bird flickering around. So you can fool their eyes, you can fool their ears, you can break something. Elk make a lot of noise. They're big animals, so they're breaking things or kicking rocks. It happens. So you can do that, and they can hear something, hear something in the direction. They'll be like, okay, I didn't hear anything after that, so they'll settle back down. You cannot fool their nose. If they smell you, it is over. So to get into bow range, first you have to have the wind right. So there's wind checker. It used to be like a feather on the limb where on your bow limb where the breeze would blow the feather and you could see like, okay, the direction is this way. I need to come in with that wind in my face. Now it's like a little puffer bottle. And it's got a little powder in it, sort of like baby powder. And you hit it and a little powder will go up and the wind will push it whichever way the wind's going. And then you'll like, okay, I need to come in downwind. So first of all, you need to get the wind right. Then you need to be quiet and sneak in. And then once you're into bow range, which for me, the closer is better. I'd like to be 20 yards, which close to 20 meters. And if I'm 20 yards, I feel like I'm not going to screw that up ever. But that's only if I make sure that there's a good angle. You mentioned the double lung. That's exactly what you want to get double lung, which means an arrow is going through both lungs in the chest. To do that, the animal has to be broadside or exactly sideways to you. If it's facing you, like a lot of time these animals, they want to face danger. And when they face danger, they have all like their sternum and their ribs where they come off the sternum, all very heavily boned. Those ribs where they come off the sternum is very thick. The shoulders, very muscular, heavy bones on the shoulders. And so they got a lot of defense right there. An arrow is going to have a hard time getting through any of that uh, and being an ethical, quick, clean kill. So you want sideways because if it's facing straight away where it's the butt, and a lot of times the animal, he'll hear something behind him and he'll look over, like kind of looking over his butt, and all you can see is his butt and his head, like peeking over the top or over the side. That's no shot either. So if it's broadside, I feel like, so the shoulder blade, you want to make sure that the near leg to you is forward because the shoulder blade can stop an arrow. A shoulder blade on a bull elk is about this thick, solid bone. So if you hit that shoulder blade, the arrow will go in maybe 2 or 3 inches and it's not going to do anything. It's going to cause a sore muscle. It's not going to kill it. But if that leg's forward, and so that shoulder blade rotates and then exposes its ribs right here, which is where the lungs are. And if I can get it through there, that bull, if I get an arrow into both lungs, that bull is going to die in 10 to 30 seconds usually. And so that's what we're trying to do. But to do that, it takes normally for the animal to be broadside to you. It'd be best if it doesn't know you're there. So you're going to have to be very stealthy because if it knows you're there, they'll turn and face danger, as I said. But if they don't know you're there, they're looking away. Maybe they're distracted. But, elk are herd animals. So maybe they're looking at a cow, which is a female, or another bull, which might be challenging the bull I might be trying to kill to run the herd. If they're distracted by that and they're looking away and I can get a broadside or slightly quartering away shot, I know I'm going to dispatch that elk. If I do what I need to do and I get the arrow where it needs to be, I'm going to dispatch it quickly and it's going to be a quick, clean death.
And otherwise, you don't take the shot.
Mm-mm. No, I don't want to force that shot, because these animals, like I said, 800, I've killed bulls that are over 1,000 pounds. They are tough, and they live in the mountains. You can imagine, have you been out in the mountains much?
Yeah. I mean, my grandparents were from Arizona, and so I've been out there, and, I had cousins that used to hunt. I mean, but I never actually hunted, but I've been out there.
So you've been out. So you know how hard it is to spend one night in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So these things are doing this every single day. So you can imagine, if you spent every day in the mountains, how tough would you be? You'd be like the biggest beast ever. Well, they do that every day for years. So they are so tough. So if that arrow doesn't get in their lungs, doesn't take a vital organ, it's going to be tough to get that thing killed. It's going to suffer. I mean, if you hit low and say you broke its leg because you screwed up and you didn't hit here, you hit here and broke its front leg, you're probably not going to get that bull. It's going to suffer. It's probably going to survive because they're so damn tough, but it's going to go miles. And you're going to have to, how you follow these animals and find them is from the blood. As I said, archery kills by hemorrhage. Well, it's not going to bleed much if you just broke a bone on his front leg. So that animal's probably going to survive. It's going to be a rough go. You're going to feel terrible because you made a poor shot, and the animal's you're not going to recover the animal, and you're not going to get that meat. So I'm very critical on being disciplined myself to not force shots that aren't perfect, because I know how tough these animals are. I mean, they've lived, like, if you don't get penetration, say, and you don't get both lungs, you just get one lung. So the arrow goes in, say, 8 inches and gets one lung instead of two. You probably won't get that bull, because even humans can live on one lung. You've heard of people like, oh, I had a collapsed lung. They survived. So we talked about how tough elk are. They're definitely going to survive on one lung, or it's going to be a long, slow death if it gets infected. And I don't want that. Nobody wants to face that. So you have to be very disciplined, because they are so tough. And the worst thing ever for any hunter. So for non-hunters, just keep this in mind. The worst outcome for any hunter is to lose an animal, to wound an animal and not recover it. That's way worse than not killing, not seeing anything, not being able to get a shot off. The very worst outcome is to wound an animal, because there's nothing that feels worse.
Right. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now, people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple-digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone. Also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline. I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy, from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you gonna do? What's the choice that you're going to make?